Hey now, are you planning a special birthday dinner or a holiday celebration and you want to have something that's extra special and you're going to be serving it to your omnivore friends, but you also want to make sure that it's whole food, plant-based, healthy and nutritious and wonderful and everyone's going to love it? Well, this lasagna is definitely the way to go. It starts with this homemade marinara sauce. I used to think that making marinara was this huge hassle, right? I watched those commercials on TV when I was a kid where the grandmother would be slaving over a hot stove all afternoon and they'd be like, oh, you could have just used this jarred stuff, and then grandma would be like, oh, it's just as good. Nope, lies. Not true at all. That jarred stuff, first of all, it is full of oil, tons of oil, oftentimes sugar, processed stuff, and let me tell you, it does not have the vegetables that this marinara has. So making this marinara is totally worth it. It takes a little extra time. It's not that hard. Basically, you are just taking onions, mushrooms, bell peppers, and carrots, some veggies, cutting them up, and then sauteing them, and then adding some diced tomatoes and some tomato sauce and a wee bit of sweetener. I use date powder, or you could use the sweetener of your choice. Bring that all up to a boil and then let it simmer. I let it simmer for a good long time, like 40 minutes, because I wanted my sauce to be a little bit on the thicker side. So that does take a minute. You're adding a little extra love. That's what makes it a special birthday dinner, a special holiday meal, not a Tuesday nighter. So this sauce is banging, and it is going to make the lasagna absolutely freaking sing. I went ahead and made this last week, and I put it in the freezer, and then I took it out yesterday, put it in my refrigerator, and then popped it in the microwave for just a minute, just for the last little bit to, break up. So no worries there. Very easy to make ahead and freeze. So the other things that we're going to use, we're going to make a cashew ricotta. So instead of using a cheese ricotta, we're going to use our cashews to make a fat-based ricotta. We're also going to use a nice layer of fresh spinach, which will make it lovely. It is hard to find like pure whole wheat noodles, so I'm using wheat noodles, which is definitely different than whole wheat. So on the whole food plant-based continuum of trying not to use processed foods, this does not hit the nail on the head. I'm also making a couple other sort of exceptions, or opening the aperture a little bit to eating whole food plant-based with these two other ingredients. The first thing I want to say though is that these ingredients are not necessary. I make this lasagna without it. I served it to them without it and they loved it. I'm just making a special exception this time. And one is to use a plant-based meat, this Gardein. It is textured soy protein concentrate, and that is a processed product. So if you're staying in the aperture, no need to use this. If you're making an exception, or this is in your diet zone, then this is Gardein is one of the less processed mock meats, frankly. And all I had to do was take it out of the freezer, put it in a microwave safe bowl, and put it in the microwave for 2 minutes. You could also do it on the stove top. And the other exception I'm making that falls into the processed realm is this mozzarella that I'm going to put just up on the top of the lasagna to give it that bubbly look. And again, this is processed and there's a lot of oils. So there's coconut oils, cornstarch, safflower oil. It's basically oil. Okay, that's what these cheeses are most of the time. So again, don't need it. Making it for an exception. It's for my mom. It's my mom's 81st birthday. Okay, so this is going to be awesome. Let's get to putting it together. If you're new here or returning, welcome. My name is Colleen Marie, and this is Create a Great Healthy Life, where we help you follow and adhere to a whole food plant-based diet so you can create a great life for yourself and others. So let's get to layering. Now the first thing we want to do is make our cashew ricotta. So I've been soaking these cashews for about 10 or 15 minutes and then drain the water. And start with that. About a quarter cup or 3/4 a cup. And the recipe is down below in the comments. And then some nutritional yeast and a little acid in the form of some lemon juice and some liquid in the form of some water, about a quarter cup. And we're going to screw the lid on here and give that a little buzz. Okay, so let's get to layering, the fun part, right? So you always want to start with the sauce on the bottom because this will keep your noodles from sticking. So saucy on the bottom. Yummy. And then we're gonna take these sheets of lasagna, and the trick here is we want to put the sauce on the noodles. I'm trying to think which, like chewy, right? I don't know how I want to put the sauce on the noodles, but this is how I want to put the sauce on the noodles. So I found a nice trick is to put the sauce on top of the noodle, like that. Nice spread out, la 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 la. And then, oh, I should have cut my noodle first. Oh man, oh, I got excited. Okay, there you go. So these noodles are not fitting my pan exactly, so break the noodle first, like that. There you go. And then put the saucy sauce on the noodle. Yum, yum, yum. So I've made this for the last 2 Christmases, which I think then makes it a Christmas tradition, right? So, and it's gone over quite well, and it actually makes Christmas a lot easier because it's only basically one dish. I mean, my sister made some ratatouille last year and added that to our dinner. And like I made a salad last year, and I made a salad again this year. But it's a lot easier than having like 6 dishes that you're trying to serve up. So I want to make sure I have enough of this ricotta, so I have to be careful how I spread it out. It really should just be a thin smear each time. That one's probably a little bit on the heavy side. Okay, here comes the next noodle. Okay. All right, I gotta come up with a better method. I don't like when they don't fit perfectly. There we go. Cut first, then the ricotta. They overlap, I think it's okay. Okay, that's nice looking. Of course, this is driving me nuts because it's sticking out a little bit. I want it to be perfectly lined up. Okay, well, there you go. All right, so there's the noodle and ricotta, but you put the ricotta on first, is the trick there. I'm gonna do the sauce, and then the Gardein burger, and then the spinach. So saucy sauce right on top of the noodles, and spread that out. And this is nice. This is not too runny. I'm really hoping, I always have visions of like my lasagna like being perfectly stacked, you know, when it like comes out, and it comes out like a nice square. I think part of that is that you have to let it set for a bit after you pull it out of the oven. You can't just like take it out of the oven and put it right on. So I'm trying not to spread out the ricotta either. I put out the sauce. And the sauce is what's going to cook the noodles, so you do want to be a little bit generous with the sauce. Gardein burger. But yeah, your people will taste the love in this stuff, man. It's so good. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Nice. Okay. And then on top of that, we're going to put the So there you have it, folks, an absolutely beautiful work of art. This 3-layer lasagna with this fantastic marinara. All right, we're gonna put this in the oven for 350 degrees for 30-40 minutes. So I'm covering it with some aluminum foil, just loosely. You don't want the cheese to be sticking to it. La la la, little package of love. it in the oven. Okay, maybe I'll sneak an itty bitty bite. It's gonna be too hot to eat. And you do want to let this set for like 30 minutes to let the juices congeal so it's not runny when you serve it. Oh, that is so freaking good. Oh my